Thank you. Two items on the list for this evening. The first is passage of the events ordinance. So we do need to open a public hearing. Passage of an ordinance of the Borough of Newtown, County of Bucks, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, regulating special events occurring in the Borough of Newtown. This particular ordinance has been discussed at previous meetings. The ordinance was duly advertised in the Bucks County Advance on August 19, 2010, was further deposited with the Bucks County Law Library on August 20, 2010. And I would ask for a motion to adopt ordinance number 707, regulating special events occurring in the Borough of Newtown.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. So I guess the hearing is open. Discussion on council. Any discussion? No? Okay. Does anyone in the public wish to be heard on this ordinance? No? Okay. I'll call the question then. All those in, no?
Only one comment I would like for clarification. I don't believe it requires any changes to the ordinance, but I want to make it clear that any events that are currently scheduled in the borough that have been approved in the current scheme would not be affected by this. The language in the ordinance does cover it in that it says it excludes events that are either sponsored by the borough or for which a permit has been issued under another ordinance. And I just want to clarify that it is the intention of this board that if something has already been approved, that that's done and they don't need to reapply under this ordinance. And I'm concerned about events that are in the very near future. But I do believe that that's consistent with the language, and I just would like to get clarification that that is consistent with council's intention. Would that be a fair statement?
Would say, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then I can call the question, right? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. The second item on the list has to do with the tax collection committee. Again, this was an item that had been previously brought up at the work session regarding the transition from the individual tax collectors in each individual municipality to a stated collector for all of, I think it's Bucks County is the committee. That the tax collection committee for Bucks County has adopted a resolution granting the status for tax collection for the earned income tax to Keystone. As such, in order to facilitate that transition, the borough would need to terminate their existing agreement with Berkheimer Associates. There are currently two agreements that are in place, and one is for the collection of earned income taxes, the other is for the collection of the local services tax, previously referred to as the occupational privilege tax. My understanding is that council has previously expressed a desire that they will have both the earned income tax and the local services tax collected by Keystone. We will need, at the next meeting, we'll need to adopt a resolution basically agreeing to the appointment of Keystone, both for the earned income tax, which is really sort of pro forma because the TCC has done that, but also appointing Keystone to collect the local services tax. So all we need to do tonight is authorize the termination of the agreements with Berkheimer. So what I would ask for is a motion authorizing either the solicitor or president of council to send written notice to Berkheimer of termination of the existing agreements. Number one is an agreement dated November 14, 1995, as amended and revised and renewed, and an agreement dated November 9, 1993, as amended and renewed, as well as any other agreements or addenda between Berkheimer and Newtown Borough relating to the collection of taxes.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have nothing further.
Okay, two questions for you. Regarding the La Scala sound test, you have information on that, right?
I do. I have not written it down. I believe that the La Scala, we did get notice from La Scala's counsel. If Mr. Warren can pass that to me, I'll make it.
Actually, that's the corrected. I corrected that one based on the corrected.
Okay, thank you. We did get notice from Don Marshall, who's the attorney for La Scala. Just a brief background. There was concern about the noise coming from La Scala with outdoor music. They have made an application to Newtown Township in order to expand their current approvals. Newtown Borough has appeared, or did appear, at the first conditional use hearing, entered an appearance. That hearing was actually continued for the purpose of allowing the applicant to obtain sound testing. The idea is to see if they are able to put in equipment that would essentially isolate the sounds coming from La Stalla. That testing has now been scheduled for Thursday night, September 30th, 2010 at 8 p.m. at La Stalla. It is open to any interested parties. I would encourage anybody in the borough who would want to participate in this proceeding, either on their own behalf or on behalf of the borough, to contact my office for more information, or to attend this sound testing. As a note of fact, it is my understanding that music is, despite La Stalla's agreement and promise at the last conditional use hearing to discontinue outdoor music, that the music has continued, and in fact I believe they have received a notice of violation from the Liquor Control Board because they are not permitted with their liquor license to have outdoor music. I don't have many specifics on that. I think it's a part of a process, but I do understand that it has continued. So obviously that is a concern considering representations that were made at the last meeting. So again, this is continued. The sound test is scheduled for September 30th, and the next conditional use hearing is scheduled in October. I don't have the exact date.
It's the 13th, I think.
I believe that may be correct. Okay.
Okay, my second question, and actually this would have been Mike's, I believe, if he'd been here. We all received a memo from Joanne Brown regarding a zoning hearing board application for Newtown Station's modification of their wall. Have you all had a chance to take a look at it? It says, I don't believe this has been scheduled yet. Did you get any notification?
It was sitting on my chair here tonight. I have no other information.
It hasn't been scheduled yet? Okay, so I'm presuming that they couldn't get scheduled before November at this point then, right?
Well, for some reason, they had to set dates now with the first Tuesday, but they were trying to find a date in October to do it, short of doing the one in November. And there were 4 dates that I gave them for the calendar. And I've seen some back and forth with those dates, but nothing has been confirmed.
Okay, so it hasn't, but then obviously they haven't advertised either. So my question is, does council wish to send our solicitor to this? But if you haven't read it, I guess my concern is that we won't have acted before we might find a scheduled date, which might occur before our next meeting. It's before, right?
But, well, some of the dates are before our work session, and the actual hearing date would be November 2nd, if in fact they have it in November instead of in October. It just depends on how it all falls.
So I could give you an overview of what this is, if you all are aware of the wall.
After the work session.
No?
The October dates would be after the work session, yes.
If that's
So
the
ours
case,
is on the 4th, so the 3rd is not one of their
No,
dates?
it was after that, it was the second, the next week.
Okay.
The 7th or 9th and the 21st or something, and they were all further into the month of October. So you could make a decision in October.
Okay. Do you all want to chance that?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. Any questions for the solicitor? No. Okay.